hands together, y'all. Barry D, Tommy T. We gonna have a good time tonight. Let's go, let's go. It's all me and Sway.
Yeah, but listen, I don't get it. You know, like the latest story is now that they say the Dallas Cowboys are interested in C.J. Stroud, possibly moving up the draft to C.J. Stroud and Adam Schefter. Like these guys from ESPN, they're always saying that they hear, like sources say, they got no sources. He's got no, like I'm telling you, I don't care. I don't care how many times Adam Schefter gets on TV and tells me he's got sources. He doesn't. He doesn't have any sources in the Dallas Cowboys office or in any team. He doesn't have any people that are texting him saying, "Oh, hey, there's a chance that we're gonna take a look at CJ." No one is. You don't think so? But no, I know so. These NFL teams, they don't reveal anything to Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless. These guys have no sources. Even Shannon Sharp played forever in the NFL. He knows everybody. Nobody's telling Shannon Sharp anything about who they want or who they don't want or what quarterback is going away. They don't know nothing. They're like us. They're guessing.
Yeah, so that's just a term they use.
It's when you see the word sources and anything related to sports, it's bullshit. Like as a general rule, if you say sources, because first of all, if you're not revealing who you're speaking to, then you're speaking to nobody. Stephen A. Smith did this years ago when LeBron had the big decision. I think Stephen A. Smith takes credit for saying that he knew where LeBron was going. Listen, it was one of two teams. It was either Miami or Cleveland. Stephen A. Smith was flipping a coin. Heads was Miami and tails was Cleveland. I sourced this. And then he bragged for years after that I was the one that had LeBron going to Miami. No, you didn't. Like, you didn't know anyone at Miami. Pat Riley would not reveal to anyone what's going on with LeBron. It's ridiculous.
It's so funny that Adam Schefter, him and Wojo and those guys, and then you see them, and usually they're in their like extra room with the bookshelves behind them, and they got all the little helmets and trinkets, the sports encyclopedias and all that, and he's over there saying, he's got some inside guy contacted him.
They never tell us anything.
Like this. He's like this all the time.
Yeah. They never told us anything. And then that guy Wojo, what's that guy Wojo on the basketball guy, Adrian Woj? Oh my God, that guy. When they go to him and they say, hey, Adrian, like if that's his name, Adrian. So what's happening with the Kevin Durant trade? And he always pauses and he goes, and they say, well, what I'm hearing now is the Nets are willing to move Kevin Durant. They're just fielding offers right now. And it takes him like 3 minutes to get through the first sentence. And I'm just like, dude, of course, like we know.
You're funny. You were like on fire today. I came into the windows and you just started in on those guys because you must have read something like recently.
Yeah, I mean, I said, listen, whatever. I think that those guys, it's great that those guys are there and they're talking, but every time they talk, they never give me anything. I've never learned anything from Adrian Wojnarowski, like with an NBA trade. I never. He didn't tell me that. It's like, were you kidding me? Like you told me that Durant's getting traded to Phoenix. Whatever, like there's only a couple of teams that Durant could go to begin with. Where's he gonna go? He's gonna go to Miami. I mean, where's he gonna go? He's gonna go to Phoenix. Like he's not going back to Oklahoma. He's not going to go to Minnesota. Where's he going to go? He's not going to Cleveland. Like, where's Kevin? He's not going back to Golden State. Like, where's he going to go? Yeah. There's only a few teams. There's only a few teams. I mean, maybe the Clippers could have swung a deal. They could have traded like every asset they had except PG and Kawhi. Yeah. But where's he going to go? Like, it wasn't hard to pick out a landing spot for Kevin Durant.
No, because he's going to want to go to a contender, and then he's got to go to a contender that's got enough pieces they can give up or picks they can give up. And that's the way it goes. So
Phoenix gave up some talent. Yeah. So
I always say I got a source too. I got a source at Golden Corral. I got a source at Denny's. All those little places I go to, old people there. They all talking about sports too. At Denny's, the guys talking. Golden Corral, all those places. I went the other day to Jersey Mike's sub, and I got a big sub. I got a big cold cut sub. And they do it Mike's way at Jersey Mike. And they put this oil and vinegar and all that. That one that Danny does a commercial for. Danny probably just got paid in subs. Probably just eating a bunch of subs or something over there. You
remember years ago, in 1988 when the Dodgers won the World Series, when Kirk Gibson hit that home run in 1988, when Kirk Gibson hit the home run in Game 1, that Dodger team was like the biggest underdog in the history of the World Series, and they won, right? Well, I think shortly after that, Tommy Lasorda went on the Slim Fast diet.
He did,
right? Yep. He went on the Slim Fast diet because he was heavy during that World Series. He was always heavy, but he lost like 50 pounds, and he was doing a commercial in LA, and he was promoting the Slim Fast. Like, I just drink a shake in the morning, and I just drink a shake in the afternoon, and I have a meal and then he was promoting Slim Fast, right? And he was and all year long, and he was losing weight. And then Danny found out that Tommy Lasorda only got like $10,000 for that whole spot. And Danny's like, what an idiot. Like, Danny's what the freak's wrong with that guy?
Danny got more money. I've never seen Danny eat a sub.
No, it's got to be on focaccia bread, and it's got to have like pepperoncinis. I think everything that Danny put on a sub they wouldn't have a Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, or it's got to have organic tomatoes.
Yeah,
and organic cucumbers and all this.
I'm telling you, Danny knew or heard that Tommy Lasorda had some ridiculous deal with Slim Fast, and he was like, "This guy's an idiot. Like, who does a whole promotional spot for a product and makes $10,000 off of it, for a year?"
He probably spent more time on the toilet than actually acting in those commercials. Well, come on, that Slim Fast stuff, it must just go in you and out.
Go right through you, huh?
Come on.
So you're saying it's just a laxative? Okay.
Yeah, come on. It's nothing. Okay, look. So let's get started here. I know you, just real quick here, senior health check, because I know you went to the doctor the other day. Which doctor did you go to?
Oh, yeah, I went to the podiatrist.
Oh, what's wrong with your foot?
No, nothing. I have orthotics that I got back in the mid-90s.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And so I have them in different shoes. I move them out, I have them in different shoes, and I got no problems. I got no problems with my feet, with my knees. I'm lucky. I'm fortunate. So, but I went because everyone tells me that you're supposed to change these orthotics periodically. I haven't changed them in 25 years.
You get new ones, right? You got to get new ones.
Because I guess your body changes, right?
How much are they? Like $300?
No, way more than that. $300. I wish. So I just had a quick meeting with the podiatrist, check out my feet. He did, he did X-rays, and then they did a cast. They do a cast of your foot.
What did he think? What did he think of the ones you had? Were they in good shape?
Oh, he said, yeah. He said, oh, you need to get new ones. He said, how long you've had these? And I said 25 years. And he said, we crazy? He made me feel like I was foolish for having them for 25 years. But I wear them every day. There's no problem.
And initially, you got them back. I remember when you got them because you showed them to me. They were the special made. Did you get them because your arch was flatter?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was having problems. I know why. I originally went because I was running all the time. Remember, I was running the marathons in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I had that Achilles tendonitis that was killing me. Like at the base of my heel, I had the terrible tendonitis. Always felt like a horse kicked me in the back of the heel. So I went to the doctor initially for that, and he was trying to correct my tendonitis. And he said he gave me the orthotics. He said the orthotics would help with that. So that's how I originally got the orthotic. But the funny thing is the guy went to UCLA. So every time I went to the doctor in LA, we would just talk about UCLA basketball. It was great. He was there. He was in UCLA when they had like Ray Hamilton, the 1980 team that went to the final and lost to Louisville. They lost to Daryl Griffith. That my podiatrist in LA was in school that time in 1980. So like we talked about that 1980 team when Kiki Vandeweghe missed a layup with 30 seconds to go to blow that game. Remember that?
So you went to all the in LA when we lived in LA. You went to all the university like sports med guys. You went to this guy. You went to the USC guy for the knees, Dr. Deal.
Yeah. But remember when I broke my finger, I ended up at UCLA Medical. Right, they had the set they always had those student doctors. The lady came and she looked at my finger and she went, "Oh, that's not good." My finger was pointing this way, like the Like,
yeah. But that was good. You were smart that you would kind of stay around those guys. Then I went to Dr. Deal when I had my bad knee, and there was, I mean, it was a good idea to go to those people because they're playing. They're over there with Division I athletes trying to make sure they're okay. It's an investment for the university, the athlete. We were smart.
Well, yeah. When he did the ACL reconstruction on my knee, that was like way back in the day. And he was the first one. He was one of the first doctors that didn't put your leg in a cast, because back then when you got the ACL, when you had the ACL done, they would put your entire leg from hip to ankle in a cast. And you would wear a cast for 6 months or whatever until the injury healed. With me, he didn't do that. Like, he did the surgery. I woke up from the surgery in a room, and I was on some machine. My leg was on some rotating machine. So when I woke up from surgery, my leg was going up and back and forth.
Yeah, then, remember he was very pro rehab.
So the next day he came into my room to check on me after the surgery, and he had crutches, and he said, "You got to get up and you got to walk on crutches." And I said, "Are you crazy?" He goes, "No, you got to get up." He made me get on crutches and walk to the door. It was crazy.
Well, you know, so I got to tell you something. So my doctor, he keeps canceling. My general doctor, you know, I got to go for blood work, you know, the usual checkup, but he keeps canceling on me. The guy's never around, and I'm like, either he can't stand me, either he hates my guts, he can't stand me, or he looks at my thing and he goes, "I'll just blow off Barry and I'll go play golf." And, you know, because I'll just see Barry in a couple more months. And he keeps rescheduling. The lady calls me all the time. She goes, "I'm sorry, but I got to reschedule again. But don't worry about it. You're okay." And I'm like, "Okay, all right." But I want to tell you a foot story. Like, it's funny how we kind of segue into all these things, and then they come back into one. Like, we talked about Lasorda and the Slim Fast and Danny and the Jersey Mike sub and da-da-da-da. But Kim's mom, like a month ago, she was up in upstate New York, you know, where it's cold, really cold, and she went outside and fell down. And she fell down, and she didn't have socks on. She just had slippers, and the slippers fell off as she fell down, and she couldn't get up, and one of her toes got frostbite. and then finally, when I don't even know,
what do you mean she couldn't get up? So she was stuck in the snow?
Yeah, laying there, and no one comes or looks around, and, you know, it's not like a big city. You know, no one sees her. She's laying in the snow. She was there for hours. It was nighttime, freezing. And, you know, the worst thing was the snow, you know, the frostbite on the toe. She could have been worse, but the toe, so she goes inside. She finally crawls in, but the toe was already affected. And the other day we had to go up there to see her because they were thinking about going in, and they think there's a problem that the toe got infected, and it was infecting in the leg and the blood. And the thing looked terrible.
You can get gonorrhea or something with the frostbite, right?
That's what she got. Yeah. And I'm like looking at this toe, and I'm like, God, that thing looks terrible.
They got to take the toe.
Chop it right. Yeah, so now we're talking about this. Chop that right off. And your feet compared to hers are like little baby, nice baby soft feet. Hers are. I looked at that toe. I go, "How long did you wait before you called the doctor?" She goes, "At least a couple months." I go, "What are you, nuts? Look at that thing." I would have cut that thing off. If anything else, I would have taken a cigar cutter. Those cigar cutters we used to use with all the celebrities, right? With the Partagas and the Cohibas.
Burn it with a cigarette lighter after you cut it off.
They cut it with that cigar. But it's funny how you talked about your feet, and that's what we just had to go do with her. And she's like, "Well, I didn't know." First of all, I go, "What are you going outside for? And when it's freezing cold, what were you going to go do?" She goes, "Oh, I was just going out, get some air." I go, "What do you mean get some air? It's like pitch black outside. You don't even have socks on, regular good boots, like winter boots. And look you fall down, the slipper falls off, you're screwed." She's just, you know what? She gets in so many things, Tom. Yeah. She's got bad luck. She's one of those people. If she didn't have bad luck, she have no luck at all.
Our parents are like our children.
Oh, exactly. So anyway, that's enough of the feet. But you know, if you saw this toe, I should have took a picture, and I would have. Next time I'll take a picture of it, then I'll show you. You'll die when you see it. So now, because of the infection, they're not going to go take the toe yet. They were going to go in there and make sure vascular, you know, the blood was flowing all right and everything. But now they're going to hold off for a minute because, like you said, you get the infection. She got it.
Once you get the infection, it's over.
Right?
That's
But anyway, okay. So look, all right, let's get into Tommy T knows. Like I got a list here of Tommy T knows, and I wanted you to go quickly and then tell me when you're done, and I'll hit you up with the next thing. Wait a minute, I'm gonna go here. All right, so let's talk about the playoffs and the Super Bowl because we need to recap your picks because I think you were 3-0, and people forget.
We were 3-0 in the playoffs because the reason I was 3-0 was I didn't pick a winner in these games. Like I didn't, with the Super Bowl, I didn't pick a winner. Who knew I don't know who was gonna win that game. No one knew, but the one thing that we knew was that Philadelphia played maybe the easiest schedule I've ever seen in NFL history. With the second easiest schedule might have been the Niners. Philadelphia played no good quarterbacks this year, except they played against Dak Prescott. They played against Aaron Rodgers. They played against Jared Goff. I mean, that was pretty much it. And then they had Mahomes in the Super Bowl, right? So every time Philly played a decent quarterback, they gave up 35 points. Philly's defense was terrible. Philly's defensive backs were terrible. That Darius Slay and Bradbury are awful. They're awful. The Cowboys scored 40 points off them easy. They weren't even around the receivers. So we get into the Super Bowl, and now we find out that Slay and Bradbury can't cover anybody. And the Chiefs were scoring touchdowns, and those wide receivers didn't have anyone within 5 yards. So we knew that the Philly defense was terrible. We also knew that the Philly offense was basically unstoppable because they had that weird running game where they basically got a running back playing quarterback. Right. And they have that great offensive line. We knew that Kansas City's defense wasn't going to stop Philly's offense. You can't pick a winner in that game, but we took the over. It was almost over by halftime.
And then we took, if you remember, because we also took halftime, Kansas City plus the 7 or 7.5. Yeah. And we took the other over, the adjusted over, which was 62.5. And we got those two too. So we got 3 bets in. But we got them in the way exactly how you talked about how the game was going to go. The game went exactly what you said.
Because the thing is, you don't everyone is a handicapper. Everyone's picking every podcast. They're picking teams and they're picking games. And BetOnline is all over our podcast. And they're and you got all these betting apps. So everyone's picking teams. But the best way to win money is to not bet these games. You don't bet every week. You don't bet every game. You don't. In playoffs, you just don't. Like some of these games, you don't bet them because you don't have the right. It's not set up the right way. And you don't know who's going to win. But sometimes things jump out at you. Like if you paid attention to the Eagles the entire season, they had a lousy defense, and they had maybe the #1 rated defense in the NFL. They had a top rated defense. If you look at the raw numbers, the Eagles defense was awesome, but it wasn't. It wasn't a good defense.
No, and Kansas City would get behind in games, and they're a great comeback team. The way their offense is set up, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. And like you said, people get enamored with the prop bets and all these, especially Super Bowl bets. There's a lot of bets, but you got to stick with where you're going. Like I remember I said in the segment at the end, I go, just bet. You want to bet $1,000 overall on the Super Bowl? Just bet this bet, the over. Just bet that. Don't worry about 200 here, 100 here, 50. Don't do that. And then I think a couple of weeks before, you had 2 unders.
Well, I had the first week of the playoffs, I had the Cowboys and Niners, right? And I had that game under. I had that game under. And I know Dak Prescott cannot play against good defenses. He never has. He's never dominated a good defense. He scored 40 points off the Eagles a few weeks earlier in the regular season because I knew the Eagles defense was terrible. Like everyone thought the Eagles had a good defense. They weren't good. So they're playing the Niners, and I said, this guy Prescott cannot score. He cannot move the ball against the Niners, and he didn't. He scored 12 points. The Cowboys had an excellent defense. Yeah. The Niners had a rookie quarterback. So that game we picked under, and that was the easiest bet of the playoffs.
That was the easiest one, yeah.
That was the easiest
one. Then the next week you picked Philly.
I had the under in that game too because the same thing. Brock Purdy Purdy's not going to move the ball. He's not a top quarterback. Of course, he got hurt, so that game got weird. We still won, but Purdy injured his throwing arm in the first series, so that game went off the track.
So the moral of this is, sometimes you got to just stick with one. Like you like one, the way it's going to go. You can analyze the game, and sometimes it's not going to be a team; it's going to be a total. And sometimes the in-game bet is going to be depending on how that game flows, and that's exactly what we did. And the reason we're repeating this 2 weeks later is because people forget. People forget, like, oh, I don't know, how did those guys do? Did they do good? Yeah. Like, yeah, if you watched it, you wrote it down and put the money down, you would have won.
The reason we're repeating it 2 weeks later is because we want you to know how right we were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when we do our bookie beatdown bets later today, the NBA ones, you better listen. Okay, next thing, Tommy T knows. Raiders release CARR.
Yeah, so that was, we knew they were going to release CARR after they benched him in the regular season. So now CARR is, he had a no trade clause. So he basically told the Raiders he wasn't going to approve of any trade. So they had to release him. So they released him before his bonus kicked in, which they knew they were going to do months prior. They knew that, right? So now CARR's on the open market. He met with New Orleans. He met with the Jets, right? Yep. So, there's a couple quarterbacks. Garoppolo's going to be on the open market, right? So there's a couple veteran quarterbacks that are going to be available. And so now, and then Aaron Rodgers. He came out of his darkness period.
Yeah, he only lasted 3 days.
Yeah, first of all, why is Aaron Rodgers so forthcoming with the media? Like, why is he telling us he's going into darkness? Shut up. Who cares? You're going in the darkness.
He likes this
guy
thing
is
now.
So self-absorbed. He's so he tells everyone, I'm going to go into my darkness period, and then when I come out, I'll have a better handle on my life. Man, we don't care. All I care about Aaron Rodgers is who he's playing for.
Well, you know what he's doing, Pete? What he's doing, he's trying to play it like he's like
so weird.
What he's doing is he's playing the media, and he acts like no one knows he's playing it. Like, we know you're just making these sensational things up, and you go do it, then you come out. So what do you think of CARR?
First of all, what does that darkness mean? Is he going to a retreat? I mean,
yeah, you go to this cabin, and it's part of a retreat.
He's not really in darkness the whole 3 days.
Look, I'm going to tell you what it's not. What it's not is this. He goes to the cabin. It's all dark. They bring him the food. He gets to go to the bathroom. But you just stay in the darkness. I'll tell you what's hard. What's hard is what my brother did. My brother Terry, who he's like Billy Jack. My brother Terry, he's crazy. And he went on this thing. They dropped him out of an airplane with a backpack in the middle of Alaska. Yeah. And he had to get out like Rambo. And
that's like the movie Born Legacy.
Yeah, like Born Legacy too. But I mean Rambo, how he had to get away from the sheriff, right? And he had to get out, and he was killing everybody. So my brother, they dropped him, and they have they monitor you, but he got out, and he kill a couple animals, eating but he had good clothes on. He didn't have like Rambo that smelly little skin thing that from an animal. But my brother said he did get chased up a tree by a wild boar.
Jesus.
When it came after him.
Did your brother have a knife?
And he had a knife, but he was near it. He just went up the tree because it was just there. And he was like, boom. He went up the tree, and then the boar left.
The boar left?
The boar left. He found something else to go do or go eat. And it left. But my brother Terry, that's like crazy stuff. Like this Aaron Rodgers thing, they got a doctor there. They got everybody watching outside the cabin just in case if he farts sideways, they're gonna run in there. I mean, he just likes making himself sensational. Like he's the complete opposite of Keanu Reeves. He's the complete opposite. Keanu Reeves. He just kind of is mellow. He don't go out talking about stuff and go do that. He just very mellow, does his job as an actor. Aaron Rodgers is the complete opposite, and he loves Keanu Reeves because he dressed up for Halloween as John Wick, and then he got that tattoo that looked like it was some kind of John Wickish kind of tattoo. I just think he likes to I think he knows what he's doing, and I think he's doing it on purpose. But I think sometimes he thinks people are stupid, and no one knows that he's just trying to be sensational.
I don't care about, we've been watching Aaron Rodgers for 15 years or whatever. He's a great quarterback, but the other stuff, last year was something, a couple years ago, he was in Hawaii with his girlfriend and that actor, that one young actor that I don't know, who cares? Like, whatever, it's never interested me what the dudes do in the off season, that's not, just get on the field. Let's go. Let's play the game.
So let's get back to CARR, because Rodgers, we could sit here and talk forever. No one's going to know what he's going to do right now. But do you think CARR is more attractive than Jimmy G?
I think they're the same. No, I think they're the same. I don't even know if they have any value. Like CARR sometimes looks really good. Some of these teams are going to go for them, Carolina or the Jets. The Jets are not going to draft another young quarterback, and they're not going to come back with Zach Wilson as their guy. So
what about New Orleans? Will New Orleans take him?
New Orleans had Dalton, and they have the other guy, Jameis Winston, but apparently they don't like him. I don't know. I don't know what New Orleans is going to do. These teams don't have a quarterback. So, Garoppolo or CARR is up. They're up next. So they're gonna move to these teams.
Okay, all right. So
what
do you think? So are you bummed out about his release, or you really don't care?
No, I don't care, because he did nothing. Like, he's like Dak Prescott. Like these guys, they've done nothing. You've been there for 7 or 8 years. Sometimes you have a good team, sometimes you don't have such a good team or whatever. But these, there's only. Listen, how many times I've told you this? There's only like 10 good quarterbacks in the entire world. There's not enough good quarterbacks to go around.
No.
And then sometimes that list is whittled even down more. Like it's Mahomes, it's Burrow, it's Josh Allen. There's only a few, So all these other teams, they could just trade their quarterbacks. It won't even matter.
All right, so let's get to the next one, because we can lead right into it, because this is a guy that actually is something. You said Mahomes.
He's the best.
He's basically solidified himself as one of the best. You like to compare him to Joe Montana. No, so for all the young kids out there, that have no idea who Joe Montana was, go ahead.
Well, Joe Montana to me is the GOAT, not Brady. Even though Brady won all the Super Bowls and Brady's great, Brady's great. And the NBA, I told you last week, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the GOAT, not Michael Jordan, even though Michael Jordan is beyond great. Like, he's great, right? Brady's great. Agree. I think that these other two guys are the best I've ever seen. Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen in the NFL. And Mahomes is every bit as magical as Montana is, right? Only Mahomes has that rocket arm. Montana didn't have the arm that Mahomes has. No. So Mahomes is even better. But Mahomes just will not lose. And he played that game he went into the game with a sprained ankle, and then the Eagles purposely sprained his ankle again. They purposely rolled up on his ankle, and I know the Eagles planned to do that. They said, if we get Mahomes, roll up on his ankle. And they rolled up on his ankle at the end of the first half. They did it on purpose. See. They tried to knock him out of the game. So the ankle got sprained even worse. Right? It's a balloon. He can't run. And what does he do? He runs all over the field. They can't sack him. Not only can they not sack him, but the last drive to get the winning field goal, which ended controversial because of the penalty, but the last drive they got the field goal, he ran like 20 yards up the middle to the 14, and there was guys chasing him. They were touching his jersey. I swear to God, that's Montana. That's Joe Montana. Montana did that forever. This Mahomes, he's the greatest quarterback. He's right there with Montana. He's gonna be the GOAT. He's gonna win more Super Bowls. He's just so good. And the reason he's good is because you never really see it. He's so competitive. Because when he got injured in the playoff game initially, I guess he got injured against Jacksonville, he didn't want to come out of the game. Like they made him go in the locker room, and he was literally going to fight the coaches. So you just see how competitive he is, and then you realize why he's so great. He's at that elite level of competitiveness. And so that's he's got huevos, that guy. He won't give up. And I get where you're going with it, because they're similar, and just Mahomes has got more of the arm than Montana, but
Mahomes has got 2 Super Bowls now.
2 Super Bowls. He's 2-1.
And Montana's got 4.
Montana's 4-0. Yeah, he was
4-0.
Super Bowls.
I
Yeah.
mean, and back when Montana was playing, there were some good teams. Just to get in the Super Bowl from the NFC, how many times did he beat Dallas to get to the Super Bowl?
He beat Dallas once. He beat Dallas once. That's how he got the first Super Bowl with the catch, right? But that team wasn't even good. That 49er team, I mean, he had Lenville Elliott and Earl Cooper as his running backs, and he had like Dwight Clark was his main receivers. They didn't Freddie Solomon, like that wasn't a great team.
They beat Pencil Neck Collinsworth, right?
Yeah, they beat Collinsworth. Yeah,
they beat Collinsworth. They beat him twice.
Yeah, they beat in 1989. They beat him again in 1989.
Yeah, and then who else did they beat? Who else did they beat? The 49ers. So they beat Cincinnati twice.
They beat the Denver Broncos like 35-10 or 42-10. Right, it was an embarrassment. And they beat the Cowboys, and I don't know who that 4th team is. Oh, he beat Miami. He beat Miami 38-16.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they dominated Miami in 1985 or that was the 1984 season. Yeah,
that was Marino's only shot.
Yeah, that was Marino's 2nd year. Marino was awesome
that
year.
So let me ask you this, because you're saying Mahomes, he solidifies himself, and I think you're correct, especially right now. Even like they talk about Burrows and they talk about Allen, but you can't talk about right now. It's separate. There's a separation there.
Those guys are great, but they're gonna have to start catching up.
Yeah, you got to win. And I like the Montana comparison. A lot of people don't know Montana because everyone forgot Montana because of Brady. Why do you think Montana's more the GOAT than Brady?
Well, Montana played in a different era where you could crush the quarterback, and he got crushed many times, right? Mm-hmm. Secondly, you could mug the wide receivers. So when Montana played, every wide receiver was literally tackled while he was running a pattern. It was a different game then. And then the last thing is Montana just pulled every game. Montana was just magical on a football field. He was like, you couldn't stop him. Like last minute drives or I mean, he would run. He was a runner before there was ever anyone was really running around. And he was just a guy that was the most clutch quarterback I've ever seen. I mean, Brady's great. I mean, I don't know if Montana's that much better than Brady. Brady was a great quarterback, but Brady wasn't the athlete that Montana was. And, listen, like I told you when I was talking about the NBA GOAT, if I had to pick one guy to start a team with, I would pick Kareem over Michael Jordan, right? And over LeBron. And the same thing in the NFL. If you gave me one guy who was 23 years old coming out of college and he was going to be my quarterback for 10 or 15 years, I would take Montana over everyone.
Okay. All right.
That's how I picked the GOAT.
I like that. And I like that now you basically have separated Mahomes from the other guys playing now, like the Allen and the Burrows. And I think that's fair. Like they got to talk about him like separately. And I like that. So the next thing is the Lakers. We're going to get into more NBA too, but you got down here. They got 21 games left now. Is it 21?
22. They play tomorrow. They play Dallas. But they got 20. They won
you
the
don't
first
think
game.
You don't think it looks good?
Well, I mean, they're only a game and a half out of the 10th spot, so that's not so bad. They're 29-32 or they're 28-32. But what is looking good is Malik Beasley, the guy they just picked up, hit 7 threes. So they haven't had anybody that could hit 7 threes. Yeah. So they suddenly have a three-point shooter on the team. And then D'Angelo Russell, he injured his ankle, but he's another guy. He can make threes. So they changed.
Oh wait, I missed that. When did he get hurt?
He only played 9 minutes the other game. He rolled his ankle. So
against Golden State?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, so what's going on? What's happened? What happened?
Well, it's just a sprained ankle. They don't see it serious. He might not play tomorrow. He says he could play, but the coach says no, he's not going to play tomorrow. And they got back-to-back games Tuesday and Wednesday. So maybe they hold him out. Maybe they hold him out tomorrow and they try to play him one of the 2 back-to-back games. But
okay. But are those back-to-back the back-to-backs are home?
I don't know. Sometimes it's home and away. So sometimes they play home and then the second game's in Utah or something like that, close. But
so you still think they got a shot? You're thinking?
Well, they got some players now. I mean, they got rid of Westbrook. They got rid of Beverly. So now Schroeder's coming off the bench. He's taken Westbrook's role coming off the bench. That's good. You know, he's a better offensive player than Westbrook is. And then they got this guy Beasley and Russell in the starting lineup. And then they got Rui, Hachimura.
Yeah, I love that guy.
You know, they got Hachimura in the starting lineup, and then they got this Vanderbilt, right?
They got great.
Vanderbilt. Yeah. So no, they got more athletic, and they got a better offensive team. All of a sudden, Lonnie Walker the fourth, right?
He's back.
You know, he's back, but he's down at the bottom of the bench now because they got Beasley's making threes, so he goes to the bench. It's not, so that's good. You know, he still play. Troy Brown went to the bench.
Yeah.
Right? So those guys are not bad. They're better.
But I like it. I like Brown can come in later, but I also like Walker. I think it's going to help him to come in later. I think he's going to get some shots off that guy. He could shoot too.
So they've improved their 3-point shooting.
You know, the
best shooting team that LeBron's had.
Yeah, definitely. So, they just got to get into the number 10. We talk about that. They made some good moves to do that now. But the one guy that's got to, relax about the shooting, remember in Hoosiers when the coach, remember that one kid, his dad was a preacher, and he went out there. They had to bring him in because one of the kids got hurt, and he just started shooting, and Gene Hackman's going, What's he doing? He's making all those shots. Yeah. And then they call the timeout, remember? And the guy and Gene Hackman goes, what are you doing? And the guy, what do you say? He goes, I'm feeling it. I got the Lord in me.
He goes, I got the Holy Spirit in me.
Yeah. And then the Hackman goes, well, keep it in the dribble. Yeah. Or something. Remember? He goes, keep it in the dribble. So the reason I'm saying is because the Bamba guy, he's got to keep it more in the dribble. Like the first game he played, he was chucking up threes.
The last game he had a double-double, though. I forgot about him. He's good, too.
He got a double-double?
Yeah, he had 10 points and 12 rebounds or something like that. Yeah.
He did, but did you watch him the first game? He was all excited. He kept chucking up threes.
Yeah, no, because he thinks he's keep him inside. Keep it, yeah. So
there is a problem, though. They play, we're going to talk about the Sunday game against the Mavs. And so they're on a road trip. They got Tuesday at Memphis and then Wednesdays at OKC. These next 3 games are a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, if they can win these games,
these are big.
Looking good. Yeah, they got to. I told my son they're going to have to go 16-7 in the remaining 3 games, 23 games, which would take them. That would make them. What is it? 27. That would make them 43-39. So that would get them firmly in the playoffs. They'll probably still be in the play-in, but if they could go 43-39 or 42-40, that would be okay. But I like the team. It's funny too. I like that Russell's back. I never liked Russell in the beginning because I just think he was too young and he needed to develop, and he did develop. Yeah, every player the Lakers had in the beginning, Randall, him, Kuz, Ingram, all those guys, Josh Hart, they all developed into great ball players. Clarkson. If they kept all those guys, they'd have the best team in the league.
I think so. I mean, Clarkson, Hart, Russell, Randall, Kuz, Ingram. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably missing somebody, except Lonzo Ball.
He got hurt. He's out for a year.
And Lonzo Ball bothers me. Every time I hear his name, I know he's not playing right now. Every time I see Jason Tatum, I throw up.
Yeah, I just throw up. We passed up.
I just throw up. I just go, God almighty, what were we doing? Move on to the peach basket. And let's move on. Let's go right into the games we're going to pick. Because we're going to pick games from tomorrow. Because we're doing this show late Saturday, and everybody go, look on our YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. By tomorrow morning, look up there, and we'll have our picks. We're going to pick, anywhere between 2 and 4. And remember, we don't go crazy picking 8 million games because we pick winners, right? You got to pick winners.
Winners.
Right now, I wanted to talk about the Suns and the Bucks, but I can't find a line because Giannis is iffy, and they don't have the lineup yet.
Yeah, Giannis is not playing that game.
Yeah, so they're not going to I haven't seen a line at all for that game yet. That's tomorrow. That's the first game on ABC. So let's talk though the Lakers at the Mavs.
No, I'm telling you, tomorrow the Lakers are getting 4 points. That's the pick of the day tomorrow. The Lakers are the Mavs have only two guys now, right? They got obviously they got Kyrie and they got Luka, but they have nobody to handle Anthony Davis, and the Lakers are going to attack the basket tomorrow night. That's their game is to attack the basket. LeBron and AD are going to attack the basket on every play. So the Lakers are going to win that game. Lakers are going to score 120 points tomorrow night.
So what's his name's back? Luka's back. He was only out like a game, right?
Yeah,
and then he came back.
Had a minor injury, yeah.
And Irving's back. And Kyrie's going to play.
Oh, yeah, he's playing. Yeah, Kyrie's playing.
So this game is at 3:30 on ABC. So this is we're going to start picking the NBA primetime games. This is prime time. Maybe Adam Silver will be at that game. ABC 3:30, right? That's a big game. Maybe he'll be maybe he'll be in Dallas.
I'm going to watch that game tomorrow. Yeah.
So,
that's a great game.
It's in Dallas. So you think the Lakers can handle them? You don't have any problem.
They're going to win that game. Give me 4 points. They're going to win that game. Yeah.
Even with Russell. What about if Russell doesn't play?
No, that's okay because it's Anthony Davis. It's going to be Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And Russell might play, but the Mavericks are missing Kleber, that Maxi Kleber. You know, so he's one of their main guys. So
basically, what's his face will play more. For the guards, like Schroeder will play more, right?
Schroeder will play more, yeah. And LeBron will play in the backcourt more, and they'll put Troy Brown in LeBron's spot. Yeah. So no, that's fine.
Okay, so now let's go. I want to come back to that game just to finalize the picks on that. But let's go now. Minnesota and Golden State. That's a 7:30 ESPN game. Right now, Golden State is favored by 3. I don't have an over/under, but what do you think of that game? I mean, Steph's still out, right?
Steph's still out, but Golden State, the other guy, Clay's hot. He's making shots like crazy right now.
Yeah.
So, and Steph's due back soon, isn't he?
I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Steph is due back. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because they're favored in that game. It's in Golden State, but you know that I bet you Steph's playing because that's interesting how they're -3 in that game. So don't you think that's because Steph's playing? I would think
no. They're gonna be because I think that isn't Anthony Towns out? Like Minnesota's not healthy.
I'm gonna look on that right now. Let me look at that quickly.
Yeah, Anthony Towns is out.
Let's see here. That's why it's -3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Steph Curry's out. Yeah, you're right. Wiggins is out. On February 24th, Steph on the 22nd. He possibly could come back. Draymond Green's day-to-day. Yeah, Towns is not listed on the injury report, but that's because he's been out, right?
Yeah. He's got a serious calf injury. He's out for a while.
Yeah, and Golden State's still been playing okay. That's a tough game to call, but I want to select that game because it's on ESPN, and the game's in Golden State. So if I had to take I would take the Warriors in that game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I mean,
the Warriors are going to win that game. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Now the other one at night is there's no line. I got to find a line on it. You got the Clippers right after Minnesota Golden State. You have the Clippers against Denver in Denver. That's an interesting game. What do you think of that game?
Well, the Clippers just lost 176 to 175 last night in double overtime. It's the second highest scoring game in NBA history. The original highest scoring game was 186 to 184. Right? The Pistons beat the Nuggets in 1983. That's the highest scoring game.
Oh yeah. Wait, right? Did they that's the highest scoring one.
Yeah, the Clippers last night, the second highest scoring game, 176 to 175. Oh. Right now, here's the thing: the Clippers didn't guard anybody. Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, they combined for 87 points. So, I mean, the Clippers, Westbrook played 39 minutes last night.
Holy!
Like his first game. I mean, he had a good game, but he played 39 minutes. And Paul George and Kawhi, they scored like 70 points combined too. So 75 points combined.
34 and 44. George 34, Leonard 44.
78 points combined. Yeah. So the Clippers are going to – well, the only thing is the Nuggets are on a back-to-back. The Nuggets are playing today.
Yeah.
Right? And they're playing tomorrow.
That's why I don't know about that. I know what you were thinking, that the Clippers would be tired. You know, a lot of guys did a lot of minutes, but Denver's playing tonight, and
they're playing Memphis tonight. I don't like that.
No. So exactly. So you look at that. That's part of, you know, looking at these games here. Yeah, the Nuggets are in Memphis.
Yeah, and then they got to fly to Denver.
Yeah, and the Clippers are just today. They're resting after the double overtime, and then tomorrow night that game's, you know, late. It's a 10:30 game, West Coast time. So then they're going to get up, right, and do their travel day. Memphis is the Denver's going to fly back tonight, right?
Yeah.
But this is a back-to-back on that. They played yesterday, and they were in Cleveland. I kind of think the Clippers in that one.
What's the line on that game?
I got to try to find that because I don't think we're going to be able to see that one yet because how Denver's playing.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah. We're
But
not going to see the line.
But I'm just going to say, without even the line, I mean, I'm going to just say that I would take the Clippers, whatever the line is. It's not going to be Clippers giving up a lot if they're giving up anything.
They're not going to be favored in Denver. No way.
Yeah. So you know, I think
home record's got to be great.
Yeah, I think that that's an interesting game because of the Clippers, that double overtime, and you would think right off the bat, oh, they're going to be exhausted and all this other stuff. But Denver on a back-to-back away, have to fly back. I actually think that the Clippers could catch them on a. They're going to be like kind of like, I don't know. The beginning of that game, I'd be surprised if Denver was like excited. They're going to be.
Denver's 27-4 at home, so they're a great home team. You know, so yeah, I mean they're different at home.
So let's see here. All right, so let's go. And I know what that I'm going to have to. We're going to have to. If we say anything about that game, we'll give it with a caveat that we don't know what the line is. But let's bookie beat down these like really quick here.
Yeah.
Get the bell. Yeah, I love this. I love this bell. You know who's got a bell like this? The guy on Breaking Bad, the old man, the guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I love that guy. And I think it was all a facade, wasn't it? That he could talk. Wasn't that a facade?
He had a stroke. The young guy gave him a stroke. He changed his medication.
I thought it was fake. It was
no, he couldn't talk.
All right, so we're gonna do this. First game. We're gonna take the Lakers. Right now they're 4.5 plus 4.5.
Yeah, we're taking the Lakers.
Then we're gonna take Golden State -3.
Yep. And then we're taking the Clippers.
And then we're going to take the Clippers, whatever they are, which you think they're going to be plus something, right?
Yeah, they're going to be the underdog. Definitely the underdog. The team's 27-4 at home. They're not going to be a home underdog ever this year.
No. And then do you like the total in the Laker game? It's 237.
Yeah, I like the over in that Laker game. I think
that's what I thought.
The Lakers are going to score 125 points.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And you know, again, so we got four bookie beatdown bets there. NBA tomorrow, Sunday, a few primetime games, and then we fill in a couple others. We got 3 primetime games basically. We got the Lakers plus 4.5, 3:30 Eastern time, ABC, and the over 237. We got the Golden State Warriors -3. They're on ESPN at 7:30. And then we got the Clippers plus whatever they're going to be, and they follow up the Golden State game on ESPN. The only other game I looked at that I thought was an interesting game, but it always scares me in the NBA is the big lines when there's a big line. Because, you know, the runs, they make runs, these teams, like crazy. And I think if you ever take a big line, a favorite in a big line, because usually you're not going to take the dog. You're just going to take the favorite because you think they'll blow them out. You usually got to take the over just to hedge it because they go on these runs, these teams. So the only other one that I thought was worthy of looking at was the Portland. If Lillard's playing Portland against the Rockets, they're giving them 10.
Yeah, you like Portland to cover?
If Lillard's playing, is he out?
I got a better big line. I got tonight in Utah. San Antonio's lost 15 games in a row.
That's a game, yeah.
Now they're getting 10.5 points tonight in Utah. So San Antonio is terrible.
Oh,
they're terrible. But this game's going to go over. It's 240. San Antonio's not guarding anybody. Like they're guarding no one, but they're going to play their butts off. They're going to score tonight. So I still say that I think San Antonio is going to cover, but they're going to lose. So, but I take the over in tonight's game, 240.
Yeah, I'll shout that one out. I'll shout that one out on Instagram and Twitter. You know, why don't you tweet that one out?
Yeah.
Just do a little tweet that one out. You know, hashtag NBA Twitter, hashtag, you know, NBA bets, and then I'll redo it. And basically you're going to lay the points on that game. That's a good take. Like, that's a big line, but it doesn't matter. It's 10.5, so you got to buy the half a point. Whatever the half a point, whatever it costs. And then, so again, tomorrow, just recap quick. So we got the Lakers plus 4.5. We got the over 237. We got Golden State -3. And then we got the Clippers plus whatever they are to take down Denver in Denver. That's a ballsy pick. Yeah, to take that with Denver's home record. But I like those 4. And I like this. See, if we do the show on Saturday, we can try to hit most of these Sunday prime time. Some of them, we're not going to have the lines. But what we always could do this also. You know, we'll put these 4 picks out there for the NBA games, these primetime games, these bookie beatdown bets. But then, like tonight, you could tweet that one, right? The Utah game. And then tomorrow, you know, if that Suns-Bucks game or another game pops up that's interesting, we always could tweet it.
Yeah. Hashtag Bookie Beatdown.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, there you go. Hashtag Bookie Beatdown. Hashtag Old Men in Sweats. And then the good hashtags for the NBA is obviously NBA. And then hashtag NBA Twitter. There's an NBA Twitter thing. Yeah. There's hashtag NBA Twitter should pop up. And there should be a hashtag NBA bets, BETS, where people, or NBA picks, you know.
Yeah, got that.
Those are like the hot ones. The Twitter stuff gets, when you do the hashtag NBA Twitter, just like NFL has one, it gets out there pretty good. But yeah, that Utah one, everyone's going to be on that game. Right? Everyone.
Yeah.
Who's not going to be on that game?
Hashtag take the points.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not going to take the points. You're laying them.
No, but I'm just saying. Well, it's an over. I'm just doing over. I'm just doing hashtag take the points.
Oh yeah, you're just going over. Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't. Yeah. You know what? That's really actually. Yeah, because those teams can't stop each other. It's going to go up and down the court. It's like crazy.
Yeah, we got it.
The NBA is interesting. Like the NBA is a very interesting thing to lay bets on. It's hard.
It's hard because you know why the point spread is 10 in this game, right? So the last 2 minutes of the game, if Utah's up by 10 points, the last 2 minutes of the game turns into the ultimate garbage time. There's 10 guys on the court that never play. No one's playing defense, and so they're just chucking up 3-pointers. So the game's over, but your bet's still in play. And your bet's now riding on, you know, some Italian guy that plays 2 minutes a game. You know, Miko Pereira or something like that. You know, like that's why betting basketball is so hard.
It's very difficult
because your bet is always in the hands of the scrubs that never play. You place the bet on the game because you're like, okay, listen, Tatum and Brown are healthy, you know, and Embiid and Harden are coming off a back-to-back, you know, so we're going to go with Boston -6. So you place the bet on Boston because you analyze the players, but then the game's over. There's a minute and a half left in the game. The game's over. There's 10 scrubs on the court, and they're the ones that have your bet in their hands. It's crazy. Yeah. That's why it's crazy to